So in sharing something personal, I grew up with a very abusive, verbally abusive and emotionally abusive father. And it was interesting that the story that I made up in my life was that my father was actually more present emotionally than what my mother was, and that my mother was the absent one. And it is a belief system and a story that as a child I had to believe to survive all the abuse, and the fact that I never felt accepted, that I never felt good enough, that I never felt that I belonged to my family. When I went for, just to go back, this led to years of promiscuous behavior, going from man to man, eating disorder, and trying to find an external vice, which is what trauma causes. You try and find an external vice to heal the pain, because it's never about the addiction, it's about healing the pain. So only when I ended up at the Cape Town School of Supernatural Ministry, and I went for my first sozo, and the lady who facilitated the sozo asked me, and if in retrospect by that time, both my parents and myself have been for therapy about 3 or 4 times, besides the fact that I was in psychotherapy for 20 years, and I still felt not accepted, not loved, not belonged, not accepted for who I am. And in the sozo, the lady asked, can I access the Father? And I said no. And then she asked me to look at what did I experience. And what I said was, but you were never there. You were never there for me. And then the Father's voice was loud and audible, and he said, I was there with you through all of this. And I made you different, because I always believed I was different to my family, because connections were never important to them. And he said to me, I made you different so that anybody that comes in contact with you can feel my love and my presence. And in that moment, the first light of healing, true healing, started to take place. So much so that with that, in a spiritual perspective, and then finding out, making it my mission to find out what happened in my father's life, I could completely forgive him. And my mother has now, as an elderly person, moved in with me and my husband and my daughter. She's 88, understanding that she couldn't really be present in my life because she was fighting to keep her marriage going. And now, at the age of 54, my inner child's need is being met. And it started with that sozo where the Father said, I have never left you. So what is being restored in the process is we have a relationship now where there's no wounds. There's no more pain, there's no agony, there's no negativity. We can enjoy one another. We can enjoy moments as an adult daughter towards her elderly mum, but also the inner child in me is not wounded anymore. So what does time mean for parts of our relationship that was never there or lost, as when I was a child or even a younger adult, is we can have, and we are having long conversations. We are watching morning live together in bed. We have coffee together. And I actually feel nurtured for the first time in my life. And times when I'm away from home for going to see clients, I'm actually looking forward in coming home. And we can, the little bit she can still walk, we can walk in the shops together. She cooks at our house now. And it's just things that a mother and a daughter like to do together. On an emotional level, on a spiritual level, we pray together. And it's just about enjoying that time now that I have with her, because I've also decided to forgive, and I've decided to heal that part in me without expecting anything from her in return. The healing process is so enlightening. It's so, it opens up avenues and I don't know, doors for you that you never thought would be there before you haven't done it. So it is a process, and it's a journey to travel with people. And if you forgive and you heal from trauma, it ultimately leads to freedom.